All right. Welcome to another edition of Vegas Badboyz of Podcasting. I'm your host, DJ Impact, and I got a couple of the bad boys here with me. I think Sin City decided he wanted to take a vacation or a break or something. Do we give those? Do we give those?
Okay,
here?
wait. Do we have to like just put the bullshit up, or can we just say that he's had a fucking job retreat, which I'm sure he is just having a blast doing? Because those things are so much fucking fun.
Right. Yeah, that's true. Job retreats, never been a fan, and yet they continue to have them. So anyways, thank you all for joining and popping in. We know you'll be coming in slowly, so we appreciate that. If you have access to the Facebook chat, please go ahead and get that ready, because we want to hear all of your comments you may have. And with that, we'll just get started. I guess the very first thing just to start off with, I guess you can call it breaking news on our end, is we now have a website. Something that we haven't had in such a long time. Most of our communication, as many of you know, is through social media. So check it out. Go to Vegas Badboyz, that's again with the Z.com. Vegasbadboyz.com. And again, that's with the Z. And bookmark it, so you can always get quick access to it. And let us know what you think about it once you see it. And we hope you enjoy it. It's pretty much going to be the hub of communication of what we're doing and what's going down in our town as well. We'll throw things in there. So we're excited, and we thank you for being a part of that. All right, guys, so we're going to jump into Monday Night Raw this past week. I will tell you, there's no better way than to kick off the show than by seeing beautiful women that was escorting Bobby Lashley to the ring. And I'm like, oh, man, they were very impressed with this championship belt, which is, I'm beginning to understand that, because as the Vegas Badboyz champion, there's absolutely zero women that's following me, but that's okay. I'm getting to that point. I'm getting to that point that I will have my own 3 or 4 or 5. I gotta say this real low because I don't want to get in trouble. Women that'll be approaching and walking with me as I go do my endeavor. So shout out to Bobby Lashley for that for that great little entrance. Outside of that, though, what else did you enjoy from Raw, guys?
Okay, first you're just assuming that was enjoyable. You got to understand, with those women came Bobby Lashley.
Basically. Wait, come on, man.
Wait. You're going to start in on this, blah, blah, blah. I'm just going to get right to the chase.
Okay.
With Bobby Lashley, now comes Drew McIntyre.
Basically.
And this whole thing is just like fucking enough. Done.
I agree with you. I agree with you there.
The shit between them two has gotten old and stale. Like those crackers in the closet that you probably should have threw away, but you didn't. But they're still kind of good, but they're just stale.
Hey, Simon, apparently, according to DJ and what he was just saying, there's other things in his life that become old and stale.
I didn't say that at all.
And also too, now that you talk about old and stale, didn't you get beat by a tree? I mean, no offense, man. I mean, you're a true champion, but that tree had more wood than you had to offer.
That's the firmest piece of wood he's seen in forever, man.
Basically. You want to know more about that? Watch Vegas Badboyz TikTok channel.
Listen, you guys didn't see what the tree did. I barely saw what the tree did. All I knew was I woke up and I was like, what happened? So it was real quick, and I was out. It is what it is.
Let's put it this way. This tree has seen more ass in one day in the park than you see in probably most of your lifetime.
Oh my God. Anyways, What other things though that you were impressed about the show that you can remember this past Monday?
Well,
go ahead. Go ahead. No,
Son.
go ahead, Michaels.
No,
Go
really,
ahead.
you go ahead. No, honestly.
No, you know what? What I was gonna say was, I mean, obviously over the internet, Charlotte Flair had a wardrobe malfunction. That seems to be something that buzzed around when she had her match with Asuka. Apparently, I mean, I don't zoom in on all those things, but apparently there was, and I even was wondering, I don't remember seeing any of that, but that was a good match. Charlotte Flair and Asuka. Not like we haven't seen it before, but it's one of those matches that I don't get old, or it never gets old and stale seeing them go up. Really, a lot of the cool stuff was stuff that happened, I mean, kind of toward the end, I mean, of Raw. That's pretty much, everything else was just pretty much like Raw. I mean, I don't have much to really say that's exciting.
Well, I think a lot of people, there's this backlash and 3 count will be covering a little bit of this backlash on the zombies. But going along with the zombies, apparently Alexa Bliss's witchcraft has fans just totally in a fucking tizzy, because apparently you can't do anything in wrestling that isn't wrestling. So
right.
That's fucking ridiculous. I think that it was a very wonderfully odd feeling of uncomfortability in Alexa's playground. It was awesome when Natty and Tamina just kind of walked out while Alexa was talking.
I mean, Tamina was on point. I mean, she was really like, I think this bitch is crazy. Like, she had that look like, why are we here? Like, why were you entertaining this? And she kept looking at Natty like, okay, are we going to keep doing this, to a point where she just had enough? I love that.
And they leave, and Alexa's talking still, and then she turns her head, and they're gone. And so, therefore, that might make Lily mad.
Right.
Why not? What is the fucking problem with that? What is the problem with, incorporating things that aren't, just straight up wrestling stuff? And again, we'll get more into that in 3 count.
Right.
But, one of the interesting things this week was you had AJ and, almost out there, and you had Elias and Riker, and now I guess AJ and Omos are faces.
Yeah, I thought that was kind of weird too.
So, it's like there's some, ambiguity, or there's I don't know, man. It's like they're just kind of really just kind of going into gray areas here. Who should we be rooting for, and who should we be booing, and all that kind of stuff. Sheamus again fucking wins his open challenge thing. So
right.
Do we care?
I mean, that's kind of how mostly what Raw was. It was like a lot of the matches I felt were kind of forgettable. I mean, yeah, we had Angel Garza and Drew Gulak match. I mean, instead of him shoving the rose, in his ass, he shoved it in his mouth.
Was it the same rose he shoved in his ass before?
I hope not. I mean, because pulling that bad boy out would have been a pain. But I mean, Angel Garza looks great. I'm just not feeling what's happening between him and Gulak, and especially because, like in the show, he tells him like, "You disrespected me, dude. You shoved a rose in your ass. You shove a rose in my ass. I'm gonna have more to say than you disrespected me. I'm gonna whoop your ass." You know what I mean? And it just didn't seem entertaining. Kofi Kingston pulled double duty. He had a match with Elias, and then later on in the night, ended up actually having a match with Bobby Lashley.
Well, the big question here, though, is if someone wrestles a match against Elias.
Wait, he had a match against Randy, right?
Oh, but no.
It was Randy Orton.
Was it Randy Orton?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was Randy Orton.
Yeah, because Elias,
Yeah, that's what it was.
See, and that's the point of when you have a guy like Elias, when you have a guy like Riker, you don't even remember who these guys are jobbing out to or doing.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean,
yeah.
But what I can tell you, yeah, you're right. It was Randy Orton and Riddle versus Kofi Kingston and Xavier Woods, if I'm not mistaken. Am I?
Well, no, it was a one-on-one match between
right.
Randy Orton and Kofi Kingston.
Right.
And then eventually there was some involvement that got in between it that could have made it seem like it was 2-on-2, but it really wasn't. It was just one-on-one.
Right.
Yeah,
and this is where Riddle pushed Woods down.
Right. Yep.
And Woods wasn't happy about it.
So there we go.
We'll probably see Woods versus Riddle this week. And they'll either be going full tilt into Randy and Riddle as a tag team. I think this is honestly possibly the beginning of cutting back Riddle's whole bro gimmick. I think that they might start elevating him to more seriousness because he wants to tag with Randy.
But also too, it's interesting you kind of say that because, you know, as we start running down, particularly Raw and SmackDown, obviously with the news of going back to live shows, they're going to have to retool some things anyways. Do you see what I'm saying? Like, you know, what you're regularly kind of doing can't, so to speak, do that on a regular. And Riddle being kind of one of those. I mean, that bro gimmick he has does need to kind of scale back, especially if he's going to tag with Randy more permanently, like you were saying, Michaels. I don't see that working out too well.
No, I think they're stupid to do it. I think that they should keep the odd couple pairing. I think it's ridiculous if you're going to do, you know, here's the thing. You get best of both worlds. So if you take Riddle and you take away what the audience likes about him,
mm-hmm.
then you're going to possibly have a problem. I think that what you're trying to do is elevate him with Orton potentially,
mm-hmm.
but at the same time, you might be killing him by doing that. So
sounds like a tricky situation. No, what was else that happened on Raw? I thought that was interesting. I mean, really, it was just the end of the night. I'm gonna be completely honest. The end of the night, you know, that match with Bobby Lashley and Kofi Kingston was good, and then you know, kind of what happened with at the end, the interference with Drew McIntyre, and Kofi comes up with the win. I mean, it's interesting, you know. But come on, guys, it's like it's Raw. I mean, basically, when you really slice the pie, Raw is Raw. It's either a hit at the third hour, a little bit of the first hour, second hour is usually forgettable, and it's usually, you know, what Raw is, you know.
Yeah, I mean, the Charlotte and Asuka match was pretty much your highlight of the night.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, here's the thing: Kofi Kingston, he beats Randy Orton with apparently some help, and then he beats Lashley with apparently some help. And this guy is a former champion, your former world champion, and he needs people to help him win. It's I don't know, man. I don't know. And remember too, Raw necessarily, again, another three count topic coming up here. But Raw isn't necessarily going out on tour right away. So the build up isn't necessarily for the live shows. At least as of right now, it looks like SmackDown is the first to get pumping in that. So yeah, I mean, listen, it is what it is. Everyone complains about Raw, but the fact of the matter is, it's wrestling on Monday night. What else? If you're a wrestling fan, what else?
Yeah, it's true. So, I mean, it's kind of okay that it's not big. You know, like I mean, at least for me, because it's Raw, it gets me starting for the week. And I mean, if it's good, great. If it's not, it's not. I don't feel like I'm losing anything. I mean,
Yeah, well, you know, a lot of this goes down to the fact too that people people like to focus on the ratings of it, right?
true.
Oh, ratings are going down. Oh, they're
Mhm.
it's because of this horrible this or horrible that.
Right.
But the truth of the matter is that if you're a wrestling fan, you're going to tune in, right?
Yeah.
And if you don't tune in, does it really matter if their ratings are good or not? Because you've already decided you don't want to watch it. So you're expecting them to do what you personally think they should do to make Raw better. That would get you drawn back in. But now, how the fuck are you going to do that for, you know, million plus people?
Yeah.
You know, can't
Well,
tailor it to everyone.
And I think also too, you know, with regards to Raw, because you know, my whole thing is sometimes I don't want to miss a week of Raw just in case something did pop off. You know what I mean? I mean, I know I'm not going to watch it live like I used to every Monday night, but usually on a Tuesday night, I'll catch it and see was there anything that happened, because there's been times in the past where I didn't watch it for a whole week and I was like, oh shit, missed something. So I mean, there's that too, because there's a lot of people that feel that way too.
Well, absolutely. We'll just jump right over from Raw and talk a little bit about Impact and what I saw this week. There was a really good match between Petey Williams and versus VSK. I like these two. I wasn't familiar with them, and they're, you know, what they've done in the industry. Apparently, I believe Petey Williams has been around for a minute.
Wow.
What's that?
You're
Petey
such
Williams has been around for a
yeah,
minute.
you're such an
Long
Impact
time.
mark.
Long time.
But
Yeah.
Petey Williams was in Impact for the longest time at the, you know, the early progress of it.
When it was like TNA.
He was in there in TNA. He was the one that did the
Yeah.
Canadian Destroyer.
So remember, I was never a
Oh, that's
TNA
right,
fan
Got
at
you.
all.
You would have loved it back
I
in the
laid
day,
everything
man.
out. Yeah. I
Yeah,
was
you'd have loved
transparent.
it.
Yeah. So, and I've heard them talk about him. That's why
Mhm.
I said it that way, because they
Yeah.
said 10 plus years. And again, I'm not familiar, but he's great is what I'm saying. I watched the match between him and VSK, and just some of the moves that he was doing was just very impressive. And I'm going to enjoy getting a chance to see him now. I guess I missed him in his prime, but he still looked like he's going the same, if not more. This match that he had with VSK. Anyway, that was a good match that was there. The main thing though, seems like Rich Swann, he's back. He actually showed up at the Impact Plus pay-per-view they had last week. I failed to mention that. He didn't do anything, but he came back.
Oh, so just like when he wrestled Omega, he didn't do anything. Okay.
Yeah. So he's about to feud with who next? W. Morrissey, Mr. Big Cass. He's going to feud with him because he feels that he is in many ways, you know, acting like Kenny Omega, just, you know, feeling entitled, you know, just coming over and just going to not care anything about Impact and how they do things. And he's going to show W. Morrissey a thing or two until he got knocked out during that promo. And it's like, oh man, Rich, I'm pulling for you, man, but you just keep, we'll wait to see what your match do. Maybe you'll show up there, you know? So we'll see where that goes. Moose, Don Callis, Kenny Omega had a little moment in the ring. I thought I'd quote what Don said to Moose. I thought this was like, dude, does this get you upset? He said, Moose, there is nothing sadder on this earth than wasted talent, especially an abundant talent like yours. But you know what your problem is? You have all this talent, but no results. And he laughed at him while he said this comment. You couldn't even win a title at Ring of Honor. Wow. Just straight laughed on his face when he said it. And then he said, and by the way, Moose, how many world titles have you won? Shit. He said, Moose, I don't want to press any buttons, but how many Super Bowls did you win?
Damn.
Yeah, here we go. Shitting on the man, shitting on the product, which maybe, will be some indication. But again, I had a whole thoughts in my head about where this is going to go. Although there could be some changes now that we'll kind of mention what happened with, with Will Ospreay. Is this whole thing going to still happen the way it's supposed to be planned out? I don't know. Maybe, Mr. King of the World supposed to have all the belts. So we'll see where all that goes. But
he'll probably get it from Ospreay, Now that Ospreay's vacated it, they'll probably
they just gonna hand it to him. Just give it to him. Here, man.
Yeah, just take it.
Yeah, just take. Here you go.
New Japan isn't Impact.
Hey, stop
So
it.
they don't just hand belts.
He didn't hand him that belt. Okay,
he followed his contract. How did it say it? He was following his contractual obligations. It gave him the belt via a match that he would never could have won.
But he just wouldn't hand it to him.
Okay. Well, hey, you know what? If you clap your hands and say you believe in fairies, that works too.
Yeah, man. I don't know. But we'll see what happens with that. But yeah, he came at Moose pretty hard. I mean, usually when you hear comments like that, you would kind of think, well, Moose is more likely going to win this. I mean, this is kind of like, when Kofi was in the ring with New Day and Vince McMahon, right? And he was trying to say, hey, he should be one of the guys that should get a world title match. And Vince was like, I don't, you're one of my, I think he called him one of his B players, right? Isn't that what he had told Kofi at that time?
I don't remember.
No, well, I know. But all of this, the whole point is that, Vince was just pretty much saying that he wasn't championship material until, of course, they were working their way to get him where they got him to. And I'm just wondering if, in this case, they're going to just beat down on Moose on what he hasn't accomplished, to say that in the end he's going to end up getting this title. Who knows?
You know what though? I think you're playing a short game. I think that you really are playing a short game here. I don't think I mean, it could be possible that they do put the belt on Moose or someone soon, but I honestly think that the biggest thing that they're shooting for is to hit up the numbers for Slammiversary, because you're seeing little shots of like the Iconics and Joe and
right.
Mickey. So
yeah,
that might be the long game right now.
Well, I mean, according to the plan, he's supposed to lose anyway. So
what plan?
Kenny Omega's and Don Callis plan. The plan is
right.
Yeah.
Okay. I just need that clarified. Okay. So if I'm Impact and I'm AEW, then I want to wait until you have the biggest anticipation of your biggest show of the year to do that.
Which again makes no sense then why you then would use Moose unless if
you don't have a plan to put the belt on Moose. That's why. Hate to break your heart there.
I get it. So who then do you put the belt on?
You don't. You have Omega hold on to that belt until Slammiversary, and guess who has to wrestle him for the title? Joe.
Okay, so you believe that Joe he is signed or will be signed?
I believe that for the night you sell pay-per-views. That sells pay-per-views.
Smart thing to do.
Moose does not sell pay-per-views, buddy. I hate to tell you that.
He sells your pay-per-view, but just not everybody else's.
He ain't even selling your pay-per-view.
Okay. All right. Well, I'll buy that. I mean, if Joe is signed, with Impact, then yeah, I could definitely see that. But
I'm
if he
saying-
isn't, I'm lost.
Well,
Because who's supposed
do
to
you
take
not think the whole fucking thing right now is lost? You have a company that came in and just shit all over the other company who allowed their belt to go on the other TV show to get exposure, in which the only guys from their show going over there are the Good Brothers. They don't need the fucking exposure.
it? Right.
So it makes no fucking sense. A.
Yeah. Now, I
And
agree with
B,
that.
you're trying to make chicken salad out of chicken shit. So,
Which ain't good.
well, it can be good,
No,
but the thing
it's
is,
not good.
you have to, you have to look at it. The fact of the matter is that you have a big pay-per-view that you guys are trying to hype in, getting that impact, that pop of surprise, right? And you're also, if they don't have some kind of thing in place with these people that they're actually shooting across the screen for that pay-per-view, goodbye Impact. Because those fans that are talking about this now, if they don't come through on that, you're going to see Impact gone within 2 years, if not a year.
And you know what? It's interesting enough. I will say real quick, John in the chat, says for the ego purposes, Kenny Omega will drop the Impact Championship of some sort in a triple threat where he doesn't eat the pin, which possibly could be the case. But I was also going to say too, what if this was a different situation? Let's just say, not knowing what we know about, what if Impact already was dissolved? And instead of it just saying, hey, we're just going to close Impact as a wrestling promotion in general, let's just say this is a better way of putting them to bed and eventually being absorbed by AEW. I thought about it the other day. I don't know. It might be stupid, but
Yeah.
I was just thinking in the sense of like, what is the purpose? Because I see you Impact and you love this show. You know what I'm saying? But when I hear other people talk about Impact, they think this is the dumbest shit ever. Just like Matt Michaels is saying, like literally AEW came, shit in your cornflakes, poured you some milk, and told you to eat it. And it just
Listen, remember, people shit on Impact, people shit on WWE. We're about to shit on AEW. That's what we do. People just shit on companies that they just don't necessarily care about.
Yeah,
but the
but
other companies you mentioned aren't about to go under. Like Impact legitimately look like they're about to go under.
And and I don't know, maybe that's the case. I don't listen. For what it is, for what they bring onto their network, it's not bad. I can get through it. I can watch it.
no one's
it's
saying
enjoyable.
No one's saying it's bad. What I'm saying is there's a difference between the product being bad. Okay.
Mhm.
WWE, their product can suck. All right. They're in a good place. They're getting $1 million fucking from a movie to promote their fucking thing. Right. That's fine. They could fucking suck all they want. They could lose viewers. The money's generating, keep the company going. With Impact, the fact of the matter is that it seems like there's no sense of direction. And that's a problem. Because what you want to do is get the eyes onto that product. That's how you keep that product going.
Well, that makes sense. And that's why I was thinking that with this partnership that they had with AEW, and and it's great to see what they're doing with New Japan. They look like they're about to bring someone else over. I'm sure Sin City Steve would just slobber all over once he's knowing who that person is. I don't know who that person is, but it's I think his name was Kojima or something. I'm not sure, but anyway, and that's great that they have that partnership. But what has come out of AEW and Impact since this collaboration has just been horrible in terms of why would the deal be made that you just shit on the company? There should have been a trade of back and forth in terms of this company get a little bit of leverage, this one gets a little bit of leverage. But that's not
really
what's happening.
seriously think AEW was ever going to allow that to happen? You know, everyone talks as if AEW is this revelation of, oh my God, if everyone could come together around those guys, they could beat the WWE. Fuck that, man. It's run by a cokehead who's in this to fucking make more money and to just fucking throw his money around to fucking say that he's big shit. That's it. That's all he cares about. Tony Khan cares about one person. Tony Khan.
Well,
that's it.
I mean, what's interesting enough is, and this is more for you, Impact. In a realistic standpoint, it's big bank take little bank. It doesn't matter what the premise is, big bank take little bank. But did you really think there would be an even exchange? If you walked up to, let's just say, I don't know, John Cena walks up to you and say, hey, Impact, look, I want to do some business with you. All right, just you. All right. What do you think? And you come to John Cena talking about, yeah, man, it should be an even exchange. You do this for me, I'll do this for you. John Cena would laugh at your ass. He probably would do it respectfully, maybe, because it just doesn't add up. And that's how it is with AEW. Even though AEW is not this big end-all, be-all type shit, they're way bigger bank than Impact. So any type of exposure, Impact should be happy about, as far as I'm concerned. And unfortunately, it's a little crappy to me, but that's just my opinion. It was never meant to be.
So apparently what we're saying is that, okay, so AEW, yes, they got all the money. So yes, they get the shit on Impact, which now in turns are not bringing in the viewers or the interest, which makes Michaels now say, you know what, maybe this shit's going to go away in a year just because of how everything is transitioning. I'm trying to understand why this is not.
You didn't listen to what I said. I said, if they don't deliver on the faces they're showing, hyping up their biggest pay-per-view, then they're fucking dead.
Yep. I agree with that.
Because why would I ever tune in to see, especially to pay money? See, this is the other thing. You know, I think wrestling fans look through the eyes of, they download this shit illegally. All right. Which is a whole nother bucket of worms that is starting to open up. Because now people are starting to get in big time trouble who are running those sites. Okay. So what you have to realistically ask yourself is, okay, if I want to see this pay-per-view and I have to put down $40 and they're telling me we're going to have Joe and the Iconics and Mickey James, etc., and then they don't deliver on that, they can't take that hit, man.
So now I haven't seen that commercial where they actually have shown their faces. I've seen a commercial where they were running the audio of there's been more talent of been released, and you know who's going to show, and I've seen that, but I haven't seen the faces. But from what you're seeing in that commercial, that is enough information saying that these people are going to be the ones that's going to show up at Slammiversary.
I'm telling it to you like this. You're a consumer. If you start seeing this stuff on a hype up to a pay-per-view, you're going to make an assumption that those people are going to be on this pay-per-view.
You are assuming, correct. We know what that leaves you, but go ahead.
No, it will leave you going, I paid $40 for this shit and they didn't show up.
I don't know. People pay $40 for shit all the time that they
would you
get something great.
Would you?
Would I what?
Would you pay $40 to watch that pay-per-view expecting to see what they've been advertising and then it's not delivered?
But advertising, them saying that they're going to be there, or advertising because their video is just showing up and you make the assumption they're going to be there? I get what you're saying.
So do you want us to start advertising that John Cena is going to be on our show every fucking week? By just showing a picture of him and subliminally hitting to that, oh yeah, John is going to be on the show. We'd get fucking murdered.
Not to mention a nice little letter of cease and desist.
Yeah. See, and Impact, that's the problem. The problem is Impact could get away with that because they have footage of these guys, right? So they could show their faces, never say that they're going to be on the card. But if you're under the assumption that that's what you're buying and you paid $40 or more for it, I guarantee you right now, people would be fucking howling at the provider to give them their fucking money back. That's the problem.
And And I'm going to say exactly what Matt Michael said. He said there's, Impact can't take the hit. They can't bounce back from something like that.
You know who can? AEW.
Yep, AEW sure can.
And they have. They've not delivered on shit. And yet they're still, they still got, because they have a big audience. Impact doesn't. Impact too, when you think about when they made this decision to go into this relationship, I can almost guarantee you who the main person pushing this was Don Callis, who allegedly right now doesn't work for Impact anymore.
Right.
So guess what? Wrestling is a business if you let it go where, the one thing about Vince McMahon that you can say, total control.
And John also makes a good point too. He says, what about the latest rumor that they teased Daniel Bryan with Yes? And I think I did remember maybe hearing that Yes, but it's just so
it's still
weird.
The same thing.
But it's just weird because I don't know. When I hear that, when I see that doesn't make me go, shit, Daniel Bryan is going to show up. To me, it's you never know who's going to show up. When they did this at Slammiversary last year, we didn't know
who doesn't. What if he
didn't show?
But I'm saying with Daniel Bryan, what if they did that, right? And people believe whether or not Impact really
But believe that. What did they say? If somebody doesn't actually tell you something, listen, if we said, if we ran something on Vegas Badboyz, you never know who's going to pop up. And we did flash John Cena, okay? And we charging $20 for our podcast. You never know who's going to show up. That means that people you never know who's going to show up, pay $20 and expect to hear John. That's, to me, is ridiculous. It's ignorance. Now that is advertisement. That's kind of that's what advertising is. But until you say John Cena is going to show up.
Hold on. You just assumed that people are going to pay $20 to listen to a podcast that is featuring John Cena, right?
I just threw that out there.
No, I know you're trying to defend your point, but the truth of the matter is that if we did that, right, and he's not on, we might not get people saying we want our money back, all right, but we will not have people watching anymore.
Yep, I can guarantee that.
People will not tune in anymore.
It ain't taking the wind out of the sails. It's just cutting the whole fucking mass off. We ain't going nowhere.
You can say until you're blue in your face that's just advertising.
Well, I tell you one thing. I see our live count right now, and I can tell you, I don't know if we're going to have less if people got pissed off that John Cena didn't come on, or would some would stay and say, well, what are these people really about, and what are they trying to do? I don't know. I guess.
But let me ask you this, though, Impact. Let me ask you this.
We gotta move on because we could continue all night. But go ahead. What's your thing?
No. I was just gonna say, other than eating it, you have to also think about it's gonna leave a stain on your product. So for us,
I do
like
believe
Matt Michaels was saying, if we promote it, John Cena is gonna be on, or even John Cena might drop in one day, and it doesn't happen, it's gonna leave a stain on us, and they're like, oh man, those guys talking about they're gonna have John Cena on, they never did.
But just remember, we didn't say anything. All we did was flash a video. That's what we did. All Impact Wrestling did was put people on. They didn't say Slammiversary, Joe showing up, the Iconics showing up, David Bryan. They didn't say that. That's all I'm saying.
Right.
Okay.
And the fact of the matter is that when you're talking about something like that, you're basically trying to con people into buying the pay-per-view. If your kid who is 10 years old goes, Dad, we got to see, he just saw Joe's face quickly flash. How are you going to tell your kid, no, we can't buy it because Joe's not going to be on the show? Come on, DJ. You know that it's fucking wrong.
I don't know how
we don't even have a world champion. And you're trying to argue in their favor. Come on, dude.
I like the fact you're using the kid. The kid's going to be 30 years old. That's going to be who the kid is. and that man should feel ashamed of himself for falling for that on a consistent basis. Anyway, let's jump over to let's do NXT, man. Let's do it. I mean, it was a good show, and I'll let you jump right into it, man. What's some of the highlights you want to mention?
NXT was a very good show. We start off with with Zoe Stark and Tony Storm. Amazing match, obviously. The promo video was really good too. How they had to start match. That match was really, really good. I mean, like I've said before, many weeks, it's past them grooming Zoe Starks to be in that spotlight. Like, she's in that spotlight, and with every match that we see every week, it's just getting better and better and better. And they're putting her up against, top rate competitors in what NXT always says, the world's best women's division. And it was really good. The back and forth between the two of them had me excited from the time that the bell rung. If you watch the show, you know that Zoe did not win, but I still feel like, again, it just shows she needs to be up there, and I'm obviously sure she is.
Can you stop kissing ass on Zoe, and can you talk about Tony Storm pulling out a fucking new finisher that nobody has fucking ever seen?
Yeah,
and,
that was pretty
Zoe, awesome. Took that like a fucking champ.
True.
That was you got to give credit to great.
Yeah. Definitely. You're exactly right. Yes, and Tony Storm, again, amazing, and they're elevating her up. And when we think about who's going to go up against Raquel Gonzalez, Tony Storm is one of those people. Definitely, that's going to be up next to her.
Have you ever thought about this?
Mm-hmm.
When you have Tony Storm and Zoe Stark, can we just put them together as a tag team and have Tony Stark?
Tony Stark. You mean Tony? Was it Tony Stark from the Knicks? Wasn't the name of the guy?
No. Tony Stark is Iron Man.
Right. Yeah.
Oh yeah, Tony Stark. Yeah, that would be funny. And
John Starks was on the Knicks.
Yeah, maybe it was John Starks. Tony Starks. Call him Ironheart. There you go. Call him Ironheart. No, I have never thought about that, but now that's in my mind now. But other than that, I mean, NXT was really good. I mean, that was one match. Again, I got to see Cameron Grimes. I thought that shit was hilarious. Foiled again by the $1 Million Man, Ted DiBiase. It's nice seeing him. That shit was hilarious.
So the rumor is the $1 Million Belt is coming out of retirement.
Really?
Nice.
I like that.
I think that was something we talked about a number of weeks ago, that something like that should resurface. With the idea. It's very interesting. If they do bring this back and it goes to Cameron Grimes, it really shows the fact that Cameron Grimes is on the same level of what DiBiase was back then.
Mm-hmm.
A good performer, a good character, a good heel that you kind of want to like, even though he's kind of an idiot and a dick.
Right.
But at the same time, you really don't have a title that would fit in place putting onto him, right?
Yeah.
Give him this championship that you haven't used in 30 years. Good idea.
I think it would be good, especially because when you hear like the piped in chants of you ain't got no money or ran out of money or something. I was trying to listen in. That would be interesting if he ended up winning that title. Like we've said before, and I think we all have, at least us three for sure, have said that Cameron Grimes was definitely something special. And it's good to kind of see him, obviously find where he fits. I mean, he really is good. And I'm excited to see him watch. He's very entertaining. Another match that I thought was cool was Saray and Aaliyah. Although I thought it was weird because that whole her manager, what's his name? Damn, his name escapes me. All this damn wrestling we're watching.
Robert Stone, Brad.
Thank you, Robert Stone, aka the man in the. Is that called a zoot suit, or is he just trying to be a pimp? Because he had like a whole new look to him, and then Aaliyah looked the same. It just looked weird. But that match against her and Saray was Aaliyah actually looked good, and I liked how they were saying that she's a veteran. I mean, I don't hear that enough. And Aaliyah actually looked good in the match. I get that you probably would never go past NXT, I guess. I don't know. but she looked really good, especially how far she's come. You know, and of course,
well, according to DJ, if she goes over to Impact, she'll look like the best thing that could go onto the WWE main roster, and just all of a sudden tear it up and be a champion. And if you don't know what we're talking about, refer to the last week's episode and Deanna Peraza.
I still hold to my my position that I said. So, but I'm not saying that about Aaliyah at all. But who knows? You know what? Let's, she probably would go over there and wreck shop.
You know what? To be completely honest with you, when it comes to Aaliyah, if you were to ask me, I would say her staying in NXT is probably better for her. Not to say that she couldn't be successful somewhere else, but I would say realistically, if we put her on the main roster, she would get lost in the shuffle. And the sad thing is that she's progressed quite a lot.
She might not have the say in if she stays with NXT or not.
True.
So,
True.
As we found out this week,
NXT let go of a lot of people.
Can be let go. So.
Yeah, they let go of a lot of people, and So, anyways, also too, Hit Row came out. I waited, and I wanted to see this develop before I either stake some claim and saying I like them, or giving my opinion on. I want to see where it went. I like them, and I'll tell you why I like them. I like them because they're kind of taking a little bit of that, hip hop culture with regards to actual music labels, particularly in the late 90s, early 2000s. I mean, other than saying Hit Row, Death Row type thing, but I like how they operate. I like how their team is kind of evened out, although we're not seeing so much with Miss Brandy. The match that they had with Davari and Tony Nese, man, they totally got like steamrolled. Like they just got the asses handed to them. But I'm starting to really like them. I like the whole entourage. I love how you make it sound like they've been around for like 3 months. But they've only been around for 3 weeks. 3 weeks. Yeah, they've only been around for 3 weeks. And no, but I'm saying, like, I like the style.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I like now that they're starting to show the other members, in that I feel like that's a better way to do it. You know what I'm saying? Show them as a team, don't always show Swerve. We already know what Swerve could do, start showing the other members. And I like how they do their team promos. It's almost like they're saying one bar, then they switch to the next person, one bar into the next. I'm digging it. I wasn't digging it week 2 at first. I was like, all right. So I like them. I want to see what happens with them. But, pretty much what really was the most coolest thing of the night, I felt, was, the North American, NXT North American title, Bronson Reed, Johnny Gargano. That was a really, really good match. As we all know, Bronson Reed now is your new NXT North American champion. It was good, and I'm happy about it because I know I've been big on Bronson Reed from the get-go, and I really appreciated it that they finally, given him a title. We'll see what happens now that he has the title. I think he'll do well. That was pretty much NXT. I don't want to go too far along it. I'm just it's a solid show. Another match that I did forget to say that I like them as a team. I know, Michaels, I know, but I didn't want to leave without saying it. I really like Tommaso Ciampa and Timothy Thatcher.
Yeah, you'll have plenty of time to say that.
I know.
They'll be around.
Yeah. It looks like they are now a cohesive team, 100%. I like them. I like the hard hitting. I just love it. And throughout the weeks, I'll get a chance to talk about that. But that's pretty much was NXT. It was a good day to watch.
And once again, you missed the biggest part of NXT, and that was the fact that Indy realized that Dexter still loves her.
Yeah, stalk me for free.
That was fucking amazing.
He still loves me. Man, yeah. But that's pretty much it. I mean, we're gonna move on forward, aren't we?
Yes, we are. No doubt. there was just one part that I really was enjoying the promo that they made for Cross and Balor.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
tell
that was
you,
epic.
that is how you promote a fight. You know, I mean, again, it's one of those things where you're watching and you're like, and then what even made it better is you had Paul Heyman on there that normally says, hey, usually I issue spoilers, but for this match, it's too close to call, which I love that. And that's really how you kind of feel, although you may be like, oh, you kind of know the outcome. Man, the build up to that was just perfect. I just love how their promos are. It really got me excited to see part 2 of that. So yeah, shout out to that. All right. AEW. We don't have Sin City Steve here to.
Oh, sure we do.
Oh, we do?
Let me just start with saying, okay, so the first thing we got was the instant classic Kristen Cage versus newborn Matt Sydal. And man, I'll tell you right now, for my money, this was the greatest wrestling match, not only of the week, not only of the month, not only of the year, but possibly out of the last 50 or 60 years. It was amazing. There was absolutely nothing wrong with it. It was so amazing.
Perfect. Mm-hmm.
It just really made me excited for the rest of the night.
Yeah.
And then, oh my God, dude, we had Taz and Ricky Starks and this whole thing coming out, and oh my God, it's a Hangman Page, and like I just can't wait to see where this is going, because like the Dark Order and Hangman Page and Ricky Starks.
All right, Sin City, calm down. I know.
But you forgot one thing about that whole exchange. It was so cool how Hangman Page came out and said, "Hey, hold my drink, Starks." Always thinking about his drinks first. I
think in wrestling today, the one thing that is missing is pure alcoholism being promoted as a good thing for kids. So
shows you responsibility.
It does, and it's just like, that's where I think it's today's thing. And boy, just so many good things. When the Acclaim came out, oh my gosh, and they were just talking like rappers and doing that rap thing. And
I like the Acclaim.
They're great. They're great.
Yeah,
they're way better than the what were they? Street Profit,
easy
party people.
Stop it.
The ones who were supposed to be the Street Profits, but were never as good. And the Acclaim does now pass these guys. But no, seriously, that was a very good take when he insinuated that Renee's podcast was about sucking dick. So, and they changed Moxley's music to Wild Thing from Major League, the movie from 32 years ago. So,
man, now I feel old.
I just want to say this, and I said it before, and I'm sticking to it. I hate it. Sorry.
Oh no, but they modernized it.
Like it. Yeah.
No, but DJ, you're missing the point. The point is that they took something that was 55 years old and then replaced it with something that's only 30 years old.
So now when he comes,
it works.
When he comes out with that, it's just
You know what the problem was with it? Impact?
I don't want my top wrestler coming out with people singing, "Wow, thing, he makes my heart." I don't want my top
wrestler. But know what's funny?
I don't.
Everybody's gonna sing it. You watch. Everybody's gonna sing it in the crowd.
You can pick any song, top 100 song on Billboard that everybody know that anybody would sing. They sing Jericho's and he didn't even make the top Billboard. People just like to sing. But I don't want to hear Wild Things where I got my baddest, roughest, toughest guys coming out to whoop some ass, and I'm hearing, "You make my heart sing." That's bullshit. It's ridiculous. Change it back to the original theme.
Really? What were the words to the original theme?
There were no words. There were no words.
Oh,
There
really?
was just music.
So you just don't like singing and wrestling.
That song is not anything that makes sense for Moxley and Kingston. And if you think so, explain to me how.
Because they're wild things.
They are. They're wild.
I don't know, by I gashing people open and using barbed wire and tables and chairs and explosives and blah fucking blah. And apparently, as Sin City Steve said last week, also it's a song that has ties to New Japan. You know, so boy, you're going to be mad when that guy from New Japan shows up in Impact Wrestling and you got to hear his song twice in a week.
Well,
you know what you should do? You should just, let it be. Open yourself up.
Oh, whoa, don't say let it be. Because if you say let it be, he's going to get mad.
Let it be. Let it be.
Well, you know what else was a good match on AEW was
yeah, that's what I said.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh my gosh. Can I pause? Pregnant pause. No, Miss Deeb, who is the NWA Women's Champion. Yeah, Serena Deeb. Mm-hmm. And because I don't watch AEW all the time. So I actually watched it a little bit this week. And I did watch for that match with I don't know why I was gonna call her Red Velvet Cake, but Red Velvet. And that was a good match. That was a really good match between the two of them. That Serenity lock, I'm digging it. I like it. And she obviously, still got it. Looks good, like I said. And for someone that purposely did not watch AEW for 2 weeks in a row and watched it 3/4 of the way this week, a lot of things I was trying to fill around and figure out, like, okay, what's this? That was a good match that stood out for me. That was a really good match. I'm sure if Sin City Steve was here, he would have said that was a really good match as well. Akira Shida, the AEW Women's Champion, she went up against Rebel. That was not really a match per se. It was just an opportunity to have Britt Baker, interfere and start shit. But I'm looking forward to seeing those two lock up. I believe Double or Nothing, correct? They're supposed to go up, if I'm not mistaken. Boy, we really need Sin City Steve here because he's the man that.
Well, the only thing I liked out of the entire show is I like the Pinnacle's promo. I actually thought that was entertaining. Them having dinner and, looking at their wine and beating up on their server and throwing money at them and
talking about Spears couldn't even get wine and he got a temper tantrum.
Yeah, I mean, I that's probably the only thing that I could tell you I've that I thought was very well put together. But you also have to
go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to name another match.
Yeah, go ahead.
I was going to say we also ended the show with the Young Bucks and the Varsity Blondes. So, I guess you had that to look forward to.
Oh, it was fucking horrible, unfortunately. Because the blondes didn't get any respect in that, man.
Well, let me ask you this. Would you name them Varsity Blondes? Would you think a different name would be better for them?
I feel like their name should have went to Dana Brooke and Mandy Rose.
Well, that would make more sense. I don't know. I don't. It's just kind of.
You got to remember that the reason that they're referred to as the Varsity Blondes is because of the history, with the legacy of Brian Pillman and all that kind of shit. But
I don't remember it. Okay, well that makes sense. Okay. As long as there's something that is connection to that, because I don't get it.
It doesn't even matter right now because they're really the Varsity Job Squad, because that's what they're.
That would have been a good name for them. Yeah, you're right. Exactly.
Well, I will tell you one match that in a match that I did see, only because I'm not familiar. I don't watch AEW all the time. But when I did, this Anthony Ogogo, that match that he had with
you got sold on it? You got sold on the punch?
I was like, all right. Look, let's put it this way. it makes me want to watch AEW next week just to see a little bit more about this guy. I don't know much about it. I may have to watch the last 2.5 weeks that I didn't watch. But I mean, I kind of like
Well,
logo.
The problem with him is that they're building him up that supposedly one punch, it doesn't matter if it just comes to the face or if it comes to the stomach, which is easily to punch someone in the match. But one of those punches, it's a wrap.
Well, it's the same that they do in boxing with heavyweight with Wilder. They say Wilder has that one punch. If you get hit with it, that's it. You're knocked out. So maybe they're copying off of that.
It's fucking wrestling, and number two, he's going to be going against Cody Rhodes.
Right.
Cody Rhodes is going to go down in one punch. Fuck that.
No, he has to believe first. He got to believe first.
Stupid. This is stupid. This is fucking ridiculous.
Yeah. I don't know. Anyways,
we heard about the gospel truth from Kazarian, who knew he was a preacher.
Yeah.
Daniel's his eye looked fucked up.
Well,
rightfully so, from what we saw last week.
Yeah.
See, this is what it's like when we don't have Sin City Steve, because you know what? He breathes life and relevance to AEW on the show.
Oh, shut the fuck up. Okay, so this week on AEW Evolution, I think it was, or Dark, one of the shows. Speaking of the varsity blondes there, Brian Pillman went against Luther. And for anyone who hasn't seen it, go watch this, because it is the perfect example of why shit is out of control in AEW. Luther, he didn't get blown up. He just literally just did not move, essentially, his legs at all when he was being, swung into a corner. It was awful. It was god awful. And it was something that would have been fireable if anyone else was running that company, except for Mr. I Want to Be Everyone's Friends. And you know what? Apparently, if you're Jericho's friends, you can go out there unprepared, not in shape, not do your fucking job, and it's all right.
Yeah.
So all of you young wrestlers out there, do not take an example from this asshole, because he just showed why this kind of shit is poison.
Who was that again?
Luther.
Oh, Luther. Right. Okay.
Yeah, Luther, the guy who has a job because he's Jericho's friend, essentially.
Right. Yeah.
He's never done anything on this show that has been anything worth talking about. The guy couldn't take a fucking face bump into a goddamn cake. So,
well, you know what? Taking a face bump into a cake can be some dangerous business if you try it at home, because some bakeries, they use the wooden sticks to hold up the tier cakes, and you could have your eye poked out. So I can understand why he wouldn't want to take a face bump into a cake.
All right. Thank you.
No, hey, there's real talk, but I'm just letting y'all know.
Y'all up for a little Ring of Honor?
I'm always up for a little Ring of Honor. It's a circle. It's a perfect circle.
There was a Pure Rules match, which I enjoy, with Fred Yehai. And he's billed from Waterloo, Iowa. Fred Yehai, Waterloo, Iowa. I had to look it up because I wasn't convinced that there wasn't any Black people in Waterloo, Iowa, but apparently there is. They have a 16% population. So Fred, you're part of that 16%, man. I was wondering why you chose that town to say you was built from, but okay, Fred Yehai. He was going against Rocky Romero, and he's built from LA, so he looked like an LA guy too, but he got his ass whooped in the end. 14 minutes and 44 seconds into the match, pretty much 16 seconds left before it was going to be judged by the judges on who was going to win that match. Fred takes Rocky down with an incredible move that I can't even explain. He had them all tied up in a submission that he could barely even use his hands to tap out, but he had to figure out a way to tap, and he did. Fred has actually been going up higher in the ranks. They use a ranking system as well for Pure Rules, and he is moving up higher in that ranks. And pretty soon he may be up for a title. Not yet, but on his way up. Great match if you get a chance to watch it. They started off the show with that, so that was that. We got a chance to see, not in action, but Flip Gordon came out. He called out Roosh. He's ready for that. You know, Roosh is the Ring of Honor World Champion, and EC3 came out, and it was weird. It took, you know, his music and video, which ran for probably 5 minutes, is about the time he took to walk out into the stage, down the stairs, to the ring, walked around Flip Gordon twice, and then just said, "You've been warned." And then he walks out of the ring, and his video and music plays another 5 minutes. So very interesting what they're doing with EC3 in that regard. Seems like maybe Flip Gordon's not going to get to Roosh quite yet, but we'll see where that goes, and I'll let you know. The main event though was OGK, which of course consists of Matt Taven and Mike Bennett, went against the Ring of Honor Tag Team Champions, Hot Sauce Tracy Williams and Rhett Titus. Now get this, supposed to be an awesome match, and it was. But before the match even started, Matt Taven somehow got his leg injured in the back, and no one knew anything. He didn't know. Next thing we know, people was asking, "Hey, we need some help. What's going on? What happened?" You know, and people rushing to the scene. Eventually, early on, they get his leg all wrapped up. He's like, "Look, this is what other opportunity we going to have to go against the Ring of Honor champions." Now, of course, Tracy Williams and Rhett Titus being a part of the foundation. The foundation is all about, they want to do things fair. So they didn't even want to fight him. They was like, "Dude, you're not even ready. You know, I don't know what just happened to you. We'll give you a shot later on, but dude, don't even do it." And yet, Matt Taven wanted to fight. So he did fight. He did him and Matt went as much as they could, but of course, that injury played a role in that match. And of course, the foundation, Tracy and Rhett, retained those titles for the Ring of Honor tag title. So it was a really good match. And then as the show was ending, come to find out who took Matt down was, of course, fellow Kingdom member Vinny or Vincent. So if you remember, they've always been a tag team back in the day. And it seems like Vinny, or I should say Vincent now, that's what he goes by, just seems like he just can't have enough of his friend Matt. He just always seemed to be going hard on him. And when we think it's over, he comes right back and do something else. So 2 matches, Ring of Honor as normal. Really good show. If you get a chance to check it out, please do. Good stuff. And I know that I think they're moving closer to their pay-per-view. I got to figure out what it is. I don't think it's 19th anniversary. I think that one passed. But I know they're working up to a new one. So I'll have that more information for you next week. All right. That's your Ring of Honor. But let's move right over into your SmackDown, Friday Night SmackDown that just happened. And Matt Michaels, I love to see a parade of champions, or what some might say, a parade of title holders.
Or as what it really was, a parade of boring.
It was rather subpar the way they did it. I mean, they had him right here, just, you know.
Yeah. The only good thing was him coming out and cutting that promo.
Thank goodness he saved us.
Yeah, that was, and then Bailey, thank God, yeah. Bailey is so fucking great. Dominic riding his dad's coattails, that was beautiful. Yeah. But I mean, it started off all right, whatever. I think the some of the highlights of the night, Shinsuke, the promo, the video segment of showing him using the crown was great.
Yeah.
And okay, Rick Boggs could play guitar, but really, the Old Spice guy, that guy, the Panther dude, the Night Panther dude, fuck, man.
Yeah.
So you know what? I love when they decide that Elias wasn't good enough, that we needed two, so we could have one on each show, and they just made this guy appear. So,
Right.
but at least they're doing something with Shinsuke. So that's pretty good. Seth and Cesaro was pretty great. What they have going on there, as a lot of times you'll see this type of things where you see repeated and it becomes boring. We're seeing a new dimension to Seth being psychotic.
Yep.
Which
he
is
has the look too.
Yeah, it's kind of nice, especially when they're wheeling Cesaro off into an ambulance and
Hold on.
Once again joins in.
Hold on, let me ask y'all real quick. When you heard him say, "Why do you make me this way?" Did some of y'all have flashbacks to like your parents after they whooped your ass and shit? And they said, "Why do you do these things? Why do you make me?" I don't know. Maybe that's just me having PTSD of my parents whooping my ass, because they would say shit like that, like, "Why do you do stupid things? You make me this. You make me have to do this." Brilliant shit by Seth. Brilliant shit.
Well, beyond that disturbing notion of the fact that you were beaten as a child.
Well, I mean, not beaten as, I was disciplined with a firm fist of love.
Okay. So, DJ, I'm sure you hated Seth's wonderful Day of the Dead skull suit, which was amazing. Yeah,
I
DJ.
thought it was a cool looking. I mean, I would never wear that, but I didn't think it was. I didn't think it was bad. It was interesting. I like when he comes up with different. Some are just flat out. How can you? And then others are like, all right, Now I'm just looking forward to, which I know is probably the whole point, is what is he going to come out with the following week? That's going to be, this should be like a shout out. And I don't know if any of you all follow Seth, but whoever this designer is, he should be shouting them out, because they do a good job coming out. Maybe it's the same, maybe they're different, but they definitely should get a shout out for some of these outfits they come up with, because it's definitely different and something we don't see on a regular basis. So yeah,
definitely tailor-made suits are on point.
Yeah.
Dominic will be good in a few years, probably about 5 to 10 years. No, seriously, man. He has the size, but he's got to grow into it. He's got to build up, and all that. Yeah. Because right now, it looks like Robert Roode was just beating on a kid. Mm-hmm. It's just like the guy, guy's got to build. The Usos, we see the separation coming, so that would be the natural thing. Maybe a little swerve it a little bit, but I doubt it. Mm-hmm. So I will probably end up by SummerSlam, if not sooner, seeing Jay versus Jimmy. Street Profits had a great promo. Sammy had a great promo. Aleister Black, he comes back, he looks good, but stop the stupid fucking promos that they're doing with him. Those are fucking awful.
Yeah.
Can we trade Apollo Crews to AEW for Sonny Kiss and a couple Jags tickets?
Oh damn!
Wow.
He's awful.
And the fact that you requested a couple of Jag tickets, even worse. Sonny Kiss was an even trade, but the 2 Jag tickets. Wow.
Well, if you're gonna have me sit through his matches, it's like sitting through a Jags game, so we might as well get a couple tickets. It's just painful and pointless, and the sooner that they realize that and move on from it and stop this ridiculous, something that they could have done pretty well is just turning out listen, here's the problem. He's in the ring with Sammy, Kevin Owens, and Big E. And it was one of these things don't look like the other. And that's it. I mean, at some point, I know, but Apollo Crews, he does all this skill shit, blah, 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 and they never gave him a chance, blah, blah. You know what? At some time, you just got to say, it's all right. He didn't achieve what you all thought he would achieve. Cut him loose, let him go somewhere else. And if he doesn't, hit what people think that he could hit in another organization, then that's a shame. But I just think that this gimmick is burying him worse right now. I think this was his last ditch effort. And what is there to buy into? What is the investment in him? There's nothing there.
You know what? I'm starting to kind of see that a little bit now. And, I wouldn't have agreed with you probably 4 weeks ago, but I'm starting to kind of see it now to where he's hit the shelf life on this particular gimmick, and with him holding the IC title.
And neither has been that long. That's the sad thing. Like having Aziz out there, does it even matter? They're not doing the things that he should come off as Regal, but be a chicken shit heel. And he's really not, he's
very
not.
Shallow. I feel it's a very shallow attempt, like it's missing something. It really, and it might be something he can't feel.
Oh yeah. It's missing Arsenio Hall.
I ain't gonna lie. When I look at Aziz wearing that, I think of Coming to America every time. Coming to America too. You know what he needs? He needs to have his big uncle come from Coming to America, and it be Wesley Snipes' character that he was in Coming to America too. They need that. They need someone that's going to do some dances and walk like a pimp.
Well, I hear you guys, and I'm not ready to write them off yet.
But did you buy a shirt?
I didn't buy a shirt, no. But
don't worry, just hold on. They'll be on clearance with the Hurt Business shirts. You'll be able to have those in a couple months.
Ouch,
man. Well, yeah, I guess we'll have to see where that goes. What else you want to mention on the show that was major? Like maybe the return of somebody who, we saw him later in the show in a video promo, and then he just, next thing we know, he shows up, even in that match. You have no idea?
No, what you're talking about. Spit it up.
You're
gonna have to give me a second.
Well, while Impact's taking a second, I was gonna say it was interesting that Shayna Baszler did, even though it was a tag match, she did kind of pick up the victory. And for some reason, in the back of my head, I was like, okay, is her leg gonna, be restrictive in movement or something? And that didn't happen. So it must be something that only happens on Raw.
Well, it only happens when the Lily's around.
Well, okay, yeah. So that's that.
That at least makes sense. So
yeah, I was just about to say that. Interesting enough, I also wondered when Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler kind of popped in. It's like, okay, y'all not the tag champs no more. You're a Raw product. What are you doing on SmackDown? But that was to kind of have them get that win so they can have this match coming up for next Monday. I think it's next Monday. So I thought that was interesting. Shayna is somebody that I know we've talked about before. When we talked about on a previous 3 count, how she was built a certain way, and magic came into play. There might be something to that, and Shayna looked pretty good in that match. Maybe I'm watching them because Reginald wasn't there. I can't stand Reginald. I just can't stand him. I was glad his face got burnt off on Raw.
The name I was thinking of was Aleister Black.
Well, we mentioned that earlier. He mentioned it earlier. He said he looked good and everything, but the promos are just
suck.
Oh, I didn't. Yeah. Oh, okay, gotcha. I didn't hear you.
He slapped his leg. Did you notice that when he did Black Mass? He slapped his leg. Was he going to get in trouble for that?
Guys are still doing it. It's not as noticeable, on an overall.
You can see it on the replay, though.
Seconds, but
you can see it on the replay, like really.
No, of course you can. I mean, it's stupid, but
yeah. But SmackDown was okay. I mean, that was my opinion if you asked me.
All right. Well, Not much happening in New Japan outside of the biggest news of Will Ospreay
Yeah.
had a neck injury that occurred during the it says he had a match with Shingo Takagi at the Wrestling Dontaku event on May 4th. And I guess, yeah, he had suffered a neck injury during that match. And
Allegedly.
Huh?
Allegedly.
Oh, there's more to that.
A lot of the rumblings coming up is that that there's some heat between him and the office, so that this might not have been legitimately a neck injury per se.
And if that's true, I'm just curious if let's just say if their relationship dissolves, man, will that be a hot topic of where does Ospreay go from here? If that's the case.
Oh, he's under contract for a while, so.
Well, yeah, but I mean, how long will we talk about if that's the scenario? His clause where he can't go to some other place. Would it be like, do you have to finish out the full contract or what? Because I don't know his contract status.
He's under contract for a while.
Oh, okay, so for more than 2 years?
I believe so.
Shit.
I thought the contract was, because he signed the contract. He signed the contract. He signed the contract, I thought, somewhere around the start of AEW. And it was a longer contract. So.
It was like a 4-year deal or something like that, maybe 5-year.
I don't know.
That's a long ass contract. Shit. You better work it out if that's the case.
So I was reading from eWrestling News. It says that, of course, he was forced to relinquish the IWGP World Heavyweight Championship. It also said that in another promotion he works for, which I didn't know, is Revolution Pro Wrestling, and that it took to Twitter on Saturday and responded to a fan question about how the injury will affect his current reign with the Rev Pro British Heavyweight Championship. The company did respond by saying that it's, quote, "It's too early to say. Our situation is very different to New Japan. No immediate changes need to be made as we hadn't factored any title defenses for first shows back. Time will tell, but we've spoken to Will and he will likely address the situation in person at one of our first shows back," end quote. So yeah, I guess we will see where all this leads for him. If it is legit, I hope that he gets well and everything, gets better so we can get back at it. But if this is, we being hokey doke, then, I guess we'll see where all that goes. So with that, man, I guess we tackled everything wrestling for this past week. I want to thank everybody for listening, hanging out with us. We do have 3 Count that's about to come up next. So if you're watching us live at the moment, we'll shut off and then we'll be back on. But if you're listening to us on a podcast, thank you for doing that. And don't forget to download 3 Count for Tuesday, because there's going to be 3 good topics that we're about to get into. And I'm sure you're going to have your opinions about that as well. We just released our website, VegasBadBoyz.com. Vegas Badboyz with a Z. Go check it out. Let us know what you think about it. We have all of our information that we have linked into there. And as we start to get back and out, as the country is opening up, we will be on our website a lot more to keep you apprised to what we have going on, because we will, we want you to be a part of that as well. And also, I don't promote it often, but we do have our app. Feel free to download the free app on your iPhone or Android phone. Just go to the store and put in Vegas Badboyz and go ahead and download that app. You will have access to all of our podcasts as well. And sometimes we jump on during the pay-per-views and we just chat along with everyone who's watching it with us. So it's pretty cool and exciting. So don't forget to do that. Last but not least, if you also want to help promote us as we continue to put our names out there. If you have the Cash App, Vegas Badboyz. Again, I always like to say with the Z, put the money sign, Vegas Badboyz. Send whatever you like. $1, 10, 100, 1,000. We take it all. All of that is to help promote our podcast out there to the world. And we appreciate you for helping us out with that. So with that, thank you all for listening. We'll see you back next week.